You sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live?
From Ruffino's on Highland Road, welcome to the Friday edition. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There's Al. All right, everybody's accounted for.
Everybody's ready to go. I'm Charles
All right,
Sandgren, Jimmy Ott,
I'm
Hal
here.
Dubin, Mr.
Barry
Curtis,
the bartender's here,
bartender.
Mr. Curtis, Hal, Max. Where's Max?
Max is playing golf. Oh, watching golf. I'm sorry,
Max
watching golf.
hit 2 outrights. He goes to Costa Rica early in the week and takes a couple of days off. Now he's at the Zurich. He's not working.
That's not true. He's going to do a segment with us in the second hour today. He's working.
We're going to try and justify this BS with him down there.
He
didn't show up last night. He had nothing to do last night.
He didn't.
Cleveland didn't have a lively draft show last night.
I love the sarcasm. The sarcasm is great. That's the understatement.
We probably will, we'll have him on in segments. Troy is very important because Charlie, one of the most respected sports books in Las Vegas, and actually the two groups did not put up any draft odds.
Right,
the Westgate Superbook, who started the whole contest stuff back in the day, and then our buddies Chris Andrews, Jimmy Vaccaro, Dwayne Colucci, and the guys, they're the most respected because they do it old school. It's not corporately run at the Rampart in Southgate. They didn't put up any either. So, Troy, we got to get – I've reached out to Carl, talked to Johnny Avello already. It was a win for DraftKings last night. We'll get Bet Rivers' account, and then Carl will let us know what BetMGM did as well. I
wanted to look at the text thread last night because Max was doing the Cleveland show while we were doing our draft show.
And that's his – so, Adam the Bull is a very popular radio personality in Cleveland. And he has a regular Cleveland podcast through Bet Rivers, which Max, he produces. He has to leave. He'll watch the games with us at the Queen for about 3:30 or about 2:30, I guess it is, and then he's got to go do the Browns post game. With Adam the Bull,
Mr. Cleveland, and his lone text to us in the first hour of the draft: Browns fans are irate,
and that is accurate. And not overstated.
No.
If anything, understated.
Yeah.
And Charlie, I don't know. I don't know if I'm passing up on a Travis Hunter because Cam Ward clearly the best quarterback prospect, but I'm not sure about him. But I like his path to where he is right now. I like how he scrambles for time instead of just looks to run. He's committed. I like how he's progressed over his career and developed. But Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter it's a little bit of a no offense to Will Campbell. Congratulations. Number 4, I don't care who you are, where you go. But there's no sure things, but those are pretty close, huh?
I'm torn on the trade because I'm ordinarily a big trade down guy, and they accumulated a lot.
Method of success.
And I like Mason Graham. If Mason Graham, he was my number one choice for the Saints last night had he been available, which he wasn't. So they traded down. They'll have 2 of the first 4 picks tonight, and they'll have another number 1 next year. And if they want to go up and get a quarterback next year, there's going to be more quarterbacks go in the first round of next year's draft than this year's draft. I am as confident as I can be. But Travis Hunter is unique. Travis Hunter is 2 players, or at the very least, a player and a half.
A
player and a half. Okay,
let's be fair.
He does things that we've never seen on a football field, and he is a game changer. And to pass up on that, and look, I know the fan reaction has got to be factored in somewhere, but let me just talk about the football part of this for a second. There are so many things that you can do with Travis Hunter to win you football games, okay? If you want him to lock in on a receiver, he can do that about as well as any college cornerback that we've seen coming out. Okay, he's up there at the top. If you want him to be a game-breaking receiver, we've seen him do that too. He's been remarkably durable for as many snaps as he has played. He's got the it factor. There's nothing I don't like about him as a football player. And it's awfully hard to pass up on him, even for the haul that Cleveland got. So ordinarily, I'm a trade down guy. I don't think I would have done this deal. As much as I like the extra picks that they got, and as much as I like Mason Graham, I don't think I would have done this deal.
Are they Travis Hunter away from making a run?
No, they're not.
Okay.
But
that's what you do then.
He's a building block that just very, very few teams would have access to. I mean,
it's going to be fun to keep score, but Travis Hunter's got Charlie. He could do what we expect, and Cleveland can still come out with the best interest of Cleveland. Are they that close? You know,
no,
they're not.
No, they're not.
They're not.
He's just a guy that you can do a lot of things with. He makes you a lot better.
Well,
immediately.
I think Nick Saban was appropriate. How they handle these reps is going to impact his development. And you can't. I mean, you can't. It's just real easier. It's easier to play part-time offense than part-time defense.
I agree.
Well, I mean, everybody respected in football agrees with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and so, but he's so, and Nick Saban also said this. He said, I had to switch midstream in Alabama. We couldn't beat people playing defense and punting. You know, we had to score. And I started putting my best players. Devontae Smith could have played cornerback, but he was too good. I want guys who can score. I'm going to value guys that can put points on the board more than guys that can keep points from being on the board. I thought that grabbed my attention coming out of Nick Saban's mouth, who for so long, you know, the Belichick tree and the whole thing. I mean, you know, defensive punt, you know, JT Curtis rather beat you, you know, 7-3 than 44-24 any day.
The great coaches adapt. You know, Bertman wanted to pitch and play defense until he couldn't do that anymore. He had to hit the ball over the fence. And, you know, that's how this trade will also be judged a lot on what the Cleveland Browns get in these two picks that open the second round tonight, the first and the fourth pick tonight, and what they get in next year's draft. The other big story last night, of course, was that Shedeur Sanders didn't go, and I'm going to tie this into the Saints pick, which I want to talk about. We got a jam-packed show today. So Kelvin Banks, I like the pick. My reasoning for this is that Kelvin Banks is everything you want in a football player. He was a very highly rated five-star kid that stepped in and played immediately at an SEC school at a prime position, and he played it at as high a level as you can play it. If his arms aren't as long as Anthony Munoz, I'm just going to have to live with that. But this was high-level production. This guy won the Lombardi. He won the Outland. He blocked the best pass rushers in college football on a weekly basis. He has no injury issues. He has no character issues. You plug him in and play him from the very beginning. And I think the obvious move here, if the Saints make it, is to put him in at left tackle, where he has played his whole life, and move Fuaga to right tackle, where, with the exception of last year, he has played his entire college career. Try to salvage Trevor Penning at guard and move on. Now, here's what Kelvin Banks can't do. He can't fix every problem in New Orleans, okay? He can only play left tackle or left guard or right tackle or wherever they put him. Most of the criticism I've seen the Saints pick is, well, they needed something else. They needed something else. If they had taken a corner last night, then they would still need all these things. If they had taken a receiver, if they had taken a defensive lineman, they would still need all these things. You only got one pick. So fix one problem, okay? The Saints have a dozen problems. They've got a dozen holes in this roster, whether they want to admit it or not. Probably more than that. He can only fix one thing. So go fix that thing. I think his floor is very high. As far as him passing on Shedeur Sanders, which, I've seen multiple national pundits, criticizing the Saints pick because they didn't take Shedeur Sanders, and Mel Kiper's leading that charge. If Sanders goes on to become an all-pro quarterback, then God bless. They missed, okay? But every team in the NFL passed on Shedeur Sanders last night. Every one of them. And the Giants passed on him twice.
23 after the Saints, which would be at less risk, as with every pick, because they're less and less valuable.
Sure, but every team, everybody had their first round pick last night when we started this thing. So
I know, but Shedeur's originally started. They were the over under was 8.5. Okay, you usually look. Hey, I think the books won in the draft last night, but usually you play contrarian when you handicap if you're looking for value. But then it went to 23.5. We talked about that. The 2.5, the under. This is 7 out of 9 years that the under has gone for total quarterbacks taken in the first half. So the first round. So they have capitalized and profited from the got to take quarterback, got to take quarterback, got to take quarterback. We talk about it all the time. It's Mahomes versus Brady. It's the damn Buccaneers versus the Chiefs for the Super Bowl. It's not tennis. So over and over. But Charlie, 23 teams. The Saints can't be taking any. They may have taken a little dust, for 15 minutes. For if they're taking after 23 teams, wouldn't risk less to take him? No.
And let's talk about the quarterback needy teams. The Giants traded back into the round not to take Sanders, but to take Dart. The Pittsburgh Steelers, respected organization, respected coach, had a desperate needed quarterback. I would say more of a needed quarterback than the Saints or the Giants.
With the 21st pick, yes.
And they passed on him. And the reason I say the Steelers are more quarterback needy than the Giants or Saints is Pittsburgh with a quarterback is a playoff team next year. The Giants and the Saints almost certainly aren't. So you're talking about, hey, I want to hit on I need a quarterback. I mean, Aaron Rodgers could decide to go off into the darkness, and then then you're going to go to playoffs with Mason Rudolph? No. So they passed on him. So if you're going to
why are you defending it? I mean, they're still getting beat up because they've not after 23 other teams have had picks.
Well,
they can't be doing it still now, huh?
You tell me. I mean,
no, there's no way.
Shadur Sanders.
No, Derek Carr doesn't help the situation.
No,
I mean, he can't. I mean, he's making enough money where he can at least show up. That's the least he can do.
Right,
is show up for first day of the mini camp. Huh?
Show me that you're rehabbing his shoulder. If it needs surgery, why aren't you?
No matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in a position of leadership, and he's making more money than everybody on a team.
Yeah,
and he can't even just show up and hang around. What's he doing?
They're right.
Is he a cookie class?
Nobody knows. And Mickey Loomis is certainly not going to tell you.
He's doing crappy
podcasts.
Yeah, podcasts.
He's selling cars. And to me, it's two separate things. Okay, the Derek Carr situation is altogether different.
No, Charlie, that's tied in. It's the same position, and it's also I mean, we talk about it. I mean, quarterback league. So no, that's tied in. Oh no, you got to tie that in.
If I thought that Shadur Sanders was a sure thing, I would have said take him. I don't.
He's
I think he's a risk. Now, you want to take him in the second round? That's different. Okay.
Put me down for a can't on the guy that was taken ahead of him too.
You don't like Jackson Dart?
I don't know because I haven't seen it, because it's a quarterback friendly. He's got the measurables for an NFL quarterback. Nice size, arm strength is fine. Durability, mobility. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. I mean, he's not a statue, but I've seen him have too many starts and just still be inaccurate, with the inconsistent with his accuracy. I'm on the can't for Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence on him. I don't have a strong opinion. I don't think he can make it, or I don't think he's definitely going to be a guy. I wouldn't have taken him in the top 10 picks in the first round. Yeah.
So you're worried about the national, because
I'm reacting to
Mel Kiper.
I'm reacting to the story.
Okay. No, you reacted to the reaction.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Okay. My thing is who we talk about first? We talk about the New Orleans Saints.
Mickey Loomis.
Okay. That was not a pick about a guy that's worried about his job. That's a long-term interest pick with their pick, is it not? Instead of let me gain some. If they pick Shador, with the fan base, it got a little rally.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go.
No.
And so that was, in some rumblings, he might be out at a year or whatever. That was not an approach draft-wise that showed me that as a guy's worried about losing his job.
I agree, and I don't think he's worried about losing his job, but I think Kelvin Banks makes you better on day one than any quarterback that they could have drafted because there's a learning curve.
Charlie, they could have brought in the general manager of number one on my list, and he drafts this, and I give a check.
Yeah.
So
this is a good pick.
I mean, no, I'm just being fair.
Yeah, this is a good pick.
This is in the best interest long term of your organization. I kill the guy, and I'm ready. You tell me we're not winning till I'm dead. So So
I
anyway,
don't want you to die.
No,
contrary to popular opinion, I do not want you to die.
You've said it enough, so I'm good with it. We're all mortal, Charlie.
I said it one time when I was really frustrated. You've scouted me well. Your voice raises when you talk about it. Your blood pressure raises when you talk about the Saints. It does.
It's easier to be a bandwagon Saints fan. Let me know when they're good. 2-0. I made a bet on them. I got slapped.
Well,
yeah,
I like the pick. I like the pick, and
no, the pick is good. If the GM, name your favorite GM. He took over for Loomis. He makes his pick. We're in.
Yeah.
Are we not?
Howie Roseman.
Are
Howie
we not?
Roseman,
Are we
yeah.
not?
Yes.
Are we not in?
Yes.
So we
said that on the show last night.
And we have to be fair. Give Loomis a little bit of a check because he could have easily played to the fans in.
Yeah, he
So
could have made the popular pick.
they still can go to first game with having Spencer Rattler as a starter, and that ain't good.
No.
But that's okay.
Go
3-14.
Find your quarterback next year. Just because you don't have one doesn't mean that these guys have to be drafted. You're forcing the issue. You're forcing it for a need, and they didn't do that.
They're not.
They also didn't trade away any draft picks.
This is in the best interest of long term. Their prospects are better 4 and 5 seasons down the line than the next 2, and this is a pick that is in sync with that.
And he is less likely to be a bust than
just don't play Georgia.
Just about. Yeah, let's stay away from Mikael Williams, and you'll be fine. He's got a very, very, very high floor, very high, and a pretty good ceiling too. I think.
Appetizer features over here at Ruffino's Oysters Trapanese. Now, what is Oysters Trapanese? Smoked tomato, butter, chili paste, toasted almonds with Parmesan and garlic bread. We dressing it up pretty good. Chef Patrick doing a very creative thing.
Order one of those.
I will, Charlie.
Thanks.
Steamed duck dumplings is with the sweet chili hoisin dipping sauce. You like that? How about this? An andouille striped bass, andouille crusted striped bass, roasted pecan ratatouille, relish Meunier sauce with the Brussels sprouts. Yummy. Stuffed shrimp. Well, we're Friday during Lent, huh? Well, no, Lent's over. Easter passed. I'm sorry, Charlie. It's a kind of a Lent menu today. Stuffed shrimp with the crawfish boudin, stuffed shrimp, pepper jack cream sauce with the braised collard greens. Dessert featured today. Bananas Foster bread pudding. Hello.
Sold. Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
What's happening, y'all? If you're looking for something to do right now, why don't you get out of your car? It is a stunningly gorgeous spring day. And why don't you get in to Rouse's? We got so much going on right now. First off, it's crawfish season. So if you need bugs that you want to boil yourself or you're going to buy them already burled, we got you either way. But how about this? If you come in, I'm off of Burbank and Lee right now, and I am currently basking in the scent of delicious smoked meats. Because right now, right outside the front of the store, you get a full slab of smoked ribs for only $11.99. Fresh smoked ribs, $11.99. Sausage on the bun, $2.99. If you're Catholic, you don't eat meat on Fridays, great. Seafood hot bar right there inside. $9.99, you get to fill a styrofoam box as full as you want it. Grab yourself a coupon sheet when you walk inside, a little booklet as well. Hundreds of deals that are going to save you hundreds of dollars. Let's have ourselves a weekend at Rouse's.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886. 343-4886 and workboxllc.com. Attention, vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
Get Moss Max and less tax during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, 4 cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com. The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you
Sorry, go Christmas Sarah right here.
Chris is on.
to achieve. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more
Yeah, Chris is on.
and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at Ruffino's live at lunch.
All right, let's go out to Las Vegas, San Diego. Where you at right now, Chris? I know you bounce back between the two.
I'm in San Diego this morning.
Okay.
A little bit of overcast. Still can't get the weather to cooperate in San Diego. We got some below average temperatures, but you know.
Oh,
No, we need you to come out to me to change our fortune.
No, I mean, don't look for a shoulder to cry on.
It's 68.5 degrees today.
I mean, then they do say this June swoon. Is it a lot of overcast during June? Is that what they say?
Yeah, it's June blue, May gray, but it's coming a little early this year. It's just the last few weeks. It just hasn't been. You know, we demand 72 and sunny every day.
Yes, yes, you can get a little spoiled. By the time I leave there, even humans got on me. I said, man, it's a little warm here today. He's like, stop. So anyway, hey, but your Padres are in first place, huh? Have you still been betting the Dodgers on the run line, or they got to be?
Yeah, that's been a total disaster. I mean, and it's not even the. I have been doing it just as I said I'm going to do it. It's a little bit of an experiment as of the last couple games. It hasn't been going too well, but I mean, you would think at first the hitting wasn't that great, and then lately they've been scoring 4, 5, 6. Even the other Friday night they had 7 runs in the first inning and couldn't even get the cover on 1.5. Those games versus the Cubs were insane. You know, they had the game put away 10-7. They give up the home run late, and then they give up the run in the extra innings. They even lose the game, let alone covering the 1.5. So yeah, it hasn't been going too well. But I figure once they're going to get home, they'll have some streaks where they, I can see them ripping off 8, 9, 10 games in a row. So we're having a little fun with it. Those aren't too big of bets, and just trying to keep me interested during the baseball season.
What is an old school better like we used to, because the draft, I mean, I think is made for the mobile sports books, because I mean, if we were betting before sports betting was legalized in Louisiana, I mean, you had your local bookmaker and they weren't giving you numbers on the draft. So this is all kind of new. We know that places like the Southgate, Rampart, and now the Westgate Superbook was the one that surprised me. Didn't put up an odd. Circa was really reduced. We know about their wine, and they got beat the last few years. Not as bad last year, but anyway. But what is a guy in California where the bill for sports gambling, legalizing it in California, was shot down by like 80 to 20%? What do you do for this for the draft?
Yeah, there's a couple offshore places where you can look around, but they don't really give you much limits. You can maybe get. I had a couple bets, $200, over. I got in the beginning of the week when they were still thinking Sanders might be going in the top 10. And I don't know if you caught any of my tweets yesterday, but I mean, the only people that were surprised that Shadur Sanders wasn't going in the top 10 or the top 20 were the people working for ESPN. I mean, I'm not sure if that was a paid sponsorship for him, but Mel Kiper and the rest of the crew, they're in complete shock that he didn't get drafted. They put out a stat, and I tweeted this out, that they said the ESPN people, the analytics department, said he was a 96.9% chance to be drafted by the 21st pick. I'm not sure who's running their analytics department, but that is just an absurd comment to make. I mean, everyone knew he wasn't going to get drafted in the first round. If the Giants didn't take him, they had some guys on from your neck of the woods that I've heard all week that said they weren't taking Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
So who else was going to take him? I mean, the Browns weren't going to take him 2, and even when they traded down, they weren't going to take him 5. The Giants obviously didn't want him. They traded back in to get Dart. So I had that at over 8.5. I laid a bunch of juice on it, but I had the Genty prop under 6.5, which I was getting nervous about. Well, like I said, you can only get like $200-300 off on these things before they either stop you or change the line big time on you. So,
but
it
that's
wasn't a big night betting for me in the draft. I did have a few winners, but very small amounts, $200-300 bets that.
But
they're not gonna let you get big money down on these things.
I was trying to say in the opening, Chris, that you respect the Westgate historically, huh? I mean, just do that. Just do what Circa did. I mean, put up a limited menu and $300 limits. I mean, just do something.
Yeah, I heard Johnny Avello on last night on Decent, and he was saying the reason they don't do it, he thinks most of it is they don't want to do as much work, or they just don't have the team to do it, to keep up with it, to have enough people monitoring the Twitter accounts, the beat writers, the local breaking news. He just says that they just don't think they have enough people in the back office to actually keep up with it. I am surprised that they didn't put up any props at all. The Circa menu was super limited too. I mean, I have my account over there, and I was hoping to get some things that were just off the wall that they didn't even have. They weren't even close to offering. So
yeah.
I just, it is surprising because it's such a big event. It's 3 days and everyone's into it, and it's the NFL. So, I mean, I'm surprised they don't do it. And with all the ability they have to move the lines and make you lay heavy juice either way, they should make money.
Oh.
And I heard DraftKings did make money. So good for them for making money. And good for them for having the biggest menu, putting up as many offerings as they did.
Max and I were discussing yesterday about some of the juice and things. I mean, how do you lose putting out some of these juice odds? But yes, that's it. They don't have the manpower, and this is where we are. I mean, they got a lot more people playing on their phones and walking up to the window. It's just that simple. And DraftKings has way. When Johnny Avello left, he left the win, or was it the Mirage?
The win, yep.
The win to go to, and that's our favorite sport. The Circa is what sports and racebook. The win is. That's where I met Chris, and that's where we go again. We both got connections over there, and it's a great place. But he left there to go DraftKings. A little bit of a head scratcher at the time. They don't have the staff that the Win or Circa. They don't have the staff that DraftKings does.
Think about the numbers that had to change after the Jacksonville trade. Okay, not on Travis Hunter, not even on the next 2 picks, but on that 5th pick. Okay, we didn't know who Cleveland was going to pick. They could have picked 3, 4, 5 different guys.
In game, Charlie was about four picks ahead. Okay. So
okay.
There was a big day. We have learned a lot how far behind we are watching on TV.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Twitter last night in our draft show, we were getting, anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes ahead of what ESPN was showing.
Yeah, because I would think it would have changed the odds on Mason Graham, on Ashton Genty, on Membu, on
sure, but you couldn't get down at that point. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Live.
Hey, let me ask you guys.
Let me
ask you guys a question, if I may. The Patriots. We got your boy Will Campbell, and I'm very excited. It's not the flashiest pick, but the kid obviously loves football, and it's pretty cool to get a big offensive lineman, a leader, and the ex-captain who got released this year, David Andrews, came out and said the most important measurement is a quote from the old Landry. The 18 inches from your head to your heart. He believes that Campbell has that. So I wanted to get your guys' comments on Campbell, but I also wanted to ask you, being in SEC country, the Patriots need a weapon, and there's a few guys, this Trey Harris or Luther Burden or the 2 receivers from Iowa State. So I just wonder what you guys might have thought about those guys.
We like Luther Burden. So, I mean, I know I do. But, Charlie, you want to start on Campbell?
I can't give you any more of a recommendation on a player. He stepped in as a starter at left tackle in the SEC in day one. He was highly productive. He's a high character kid. He's athletic. I forget about the arm shortness. I mean, that was never a problem. If there was one problem with his game this past year, is that he had a higher number of pre-snap penalties than you would expect from a kid as smart as he is. But I wouldn't expect that to continue. You're getting a great player there. I agree with Jimmy. I like Luther Burden. I like Trey Harris. He had some injury issues his last year, but I like both of those players. I think they'll both be good pros.
Chris, since he's a sophomore at Neville, okay, this guy's going to be really good. He's got an LSU lean. He likes it. Whatever. And he had to go through his recruiting process during COVID, and he was one of sort of the leaders to kind of keeping still coming to visit and meeting some of the other 4 and 5 stars and trying to be with them. So it was a different deal, but stability is what I talk about. Dependability. He's going to be there. Yeah, I don't know how he blocked these guys in the SEC with short arms. That's just amazing. But anyway, he's dependable. He going to be his heart. He's a football player. Is what he wanted to do the whole time. He's gotten beat before. I mean, the South Carolina guys, man, his first star was Jared Verse. I mean, that's a pretty tough assignment. Who's pretty good for the Rams right now, but he is seen to be, and he is a dog, man. He is going to be, no BS with him. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I saw some stats that he was only giving up 5 sacks and over 2,500 snaps. So, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, and it's not like he's going against the MAC. He's going against the best edge rushers in the SEC, and that's where all the star talents, like you just mentioned, Verse, that's where they're all coming from. They're not coming from other conferences. They're coming from the SEC. So I figured if he only let up 5 sacks there, that's pretty good. Pretty good attribute for him.
Especially those edge guys. There are a lot of them in the SEC. Those guys that and we can debate a little bit on the accuracy of the 5 sacks, and that many snaps. I mean, it might be, he hasn't gone through it's not like he didn't have a game where he had, man, he's got his work cut out for him. South Carolina game.
Kennard gave him some trouble.
The verse, but for the most part, he's had going through a lot of them and done just fine. And then I got to ask you, Drake May's the guy, huh? I mean,
well, I mean, he is the guy now. I'm not as fully gung-ho as I say a lot of people are. I know he showed a lot of good signs, but I think our bar was so low over the last few years that anything positive, we would jump for joy. But I also think he has to clean up the turnovers. He's been a little bit of a turnover machine. He's been loose with the ball, fumbles, interceptions. He's always trying to make a play, and I guess he's going to have to learn from that. It also would help if he had some weapons. So that's why I'm actually hoping that they go for the kid from Boston College early, the Ezeraku kid. I think 10 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to say Abdul Qadir or Donovan Ezeraku, and Donovan Ezeraku is going to have better stats than Abdul Qadir. That's just my opinion. But we do need a weapon. So Luther Burden, I'm gung-ho about him, but I've heard there's some questions of some background stuff that maybe why he didn't even go in the first round, and that's why he's a little bit lower on people's boards. But who knows? A lot of these guys have a lot of baggages.
The wide receiver position in the NFL, I think I do some questionable things. No way, huh? I mean, no.
You told me about another Patriots receiver that might have got a car or something. It might have got stolen.
Yes, very well. I mean, yes, without a doubt. We never questioned his ability. You got anything in baseball or hockey or NBA that you could put us on tonight?
The only thing I have going right now, I mentioned the Rockets last week, so I'm still on the Rockets. Okay. I was on the Rockets the other day. I'm taking the Rockets. I'm gonna play them tomorrow night on the money line plus 120. I still like him in the series. I know I have him at plus 175, but I mean, if Jimmy Butler's not going to play, I mean, I know he's out for Game 3. He's supposedly coming back for Game 4. I don't see how the Warriors win. I mean, Steph Curry's going to have to be all-star MVP, the best Steph Curry of all time. At 37 years old, that's a lot harder to do.
They can't. They can't win without Butler.
Rockets, another bet I have, I need any other result from the Celtics except the sweep. And the way the odds are trending tonight, it looks like a lot of money came in on Orlando. I guess Tatum's going to be out again. So I'm hoping the Rockets could get one, and then the Celtics can move on. But I'm still on the Rockets. I really think they're going to get the job done over Golden State. And last night I got a little lucky. As soon as John Morant fell to the ground, I just clicked submit and got a little action in on OKC money line at plus 510. And unbelievably, they come back from a 27-point deficit. I gave a little back in play the other way, but OKC, pretty impressive comeback last night. Not giving up. They could have just mailed it in. Kind of a heart of a champion. Hopefully they make the Western Conference Finals. As I'm very happy.
I got lucky and took Memphis last night and covered, but I mean, biggest comeback in playoff history. I mean,
26.
Is that what?
Yeah, that was crazy. They almost didn't
huh?
cover the game.
I mean, it's the NBA. We see some comebacks. I mean, so anyway,
Clippers came back from 31 down in 1998, but this is second.
Okay. All right, Chris. Yeah, I'm with you on OKC in the fourth
playoff game. Not regular season.
And who the hell's calling the shots in the Grizzlies? What a second. We're going to bring back the 20-year anniversary of the Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys in our playoff game. You think you're giving that some kind of a boost, a little energy? Man, save that for game 67 in the regular season when nobody plays. So anyway, Chris, good luck to you, man. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Next week we'll be doing it live from the Wynn Sportsbook, so I'll be excited.
Yes, Oaks Day for sure. Yeah, I want to get all your picks, your pick fives, and all that good stuff. Thank you, Chris.
All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have
Don't
a great
forget
day.
our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, what you get when you dial 296-0060. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title. Max, live from the Zurich. We come back live at lunch, live at Ruffino's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Henniger for Home Bank. Grow your nest egg savings with a great CD rate from Home Bank. For a limited time, you can earn 4.25%.
Yeah, it's my bad.
Okay.
I'm all.
You good?
I'm still smoked up from the cigar shop.
It was a long night.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Stop by any South Louisiana Home Bank location and speak with a local banker today. Good for business. Good for life. Home Bank. Member FDIC.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency, lower your monthly bills, and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources, we'll help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine. The new go-to pizza joint in downtown Baton Rouge is Town Square Pizza. Town Square Pizza, located on North Boulevard across from the courthouse, is the perfect in-and-out destination when grabbing a quick workday lunch or visiting local attractions on the weekend. Town Square Pizza, you guessed it, square pizzas are consistently flavored and cooked perfectly every single time. It's as simple as that. Town Square Pizza, downtown next to Jolie Pearl.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Troy, we've been giving Bet Rivers their props because, I mean, it was a pretty good menu. The one that we like the most is the team markets, the different teams that are listed. What are they going to draft? What position will they draft first? And because those are winnable, not just the players. And not all 32, but by far the most for a long stretch of the competition. So for a sports book that's still taking some risk here, but the mobile sports books were certainly more aggressive than the brick and mortar in Nevada. But how did it do? It seemed like the public, the books may have won last night. The public didn't clean up, and not getting any reports there.
Yeah, well, so thus far for us, we've taken a loss from the sports post handle, and just before I came on, I decided to look back at the last couple of years of just total draft numbers, and we basically take a loss on the draft every year.
Okay.
Last year we took a pretty big loss, low to mid six figures. Right now it's mid five figures. All depends on what happens the next 2 days, but you'll see a decline in the number of bets we take, and the significant wagers. We took a handful of 5-figure bets last night. But this draft has already produced more tickets and more money than each of the previous 4 drafts. But each of the previous 4 drafts has grown. So this continues to be a growing event for us, even though, we do have a good selection of options, but they're going to be limited because, we can't offer in every state. And obviously, we have to take a lot down the day of, and there's just a lot of moving parts.
About 2/3 of the states allow it. Is that number accurate?
Yeah, I would say there's probably, if we're in 18 states, I believe 6 to 7 don't.
Okay, right at it. From your staff, because sometimes it can be added work for limited, a limited profit. But they hear the moaning and groaning, trying to keep up with some, the mass public on an information-based, wager menu.
Not really. I think the big ones where there's more of a huge element are the high-profile players. A lot of it is run by betting software and data companies, but specifically as it related to Travis Hunter and more than anything else, Shedeur Sanders. You've seen his odds change on a wild different amount of bets, not just to go at a specific position, but he was listed to go in each of the top 10 or top 7 picks that we offered. His over/under changed dramatically, so. There's been the most tinkering with odds and changes because you have to, because it's been so volatile. We're getting new reports every week, every day leading up to the draft. And when I looked at it, 9% of all the NFL draft tickets were on a Shedeur Sanders market, and 6% of all draft money were on a Shedeur Sanders market. So I believe that puts him as the 3rd most popular draftee by total tickets and around the 5th or 6th most wagered on. So, and some of those guys from a money standpoint, like we took a huge bet on Will Campbell to be drafted in the top 5. We took 2 huge bets on Tyler Warren to be the first tight end drafted, which didn't hit.
Right.
But, Shedeur Sanders, the tickets are there because he's, easily the most popular player in this draft and easily the most, high profile and polarizing player in this draft.
You get any of that late steam yesterday from the Bears, possibly taking Genty at number 5?
I don't think so. Not a lot. I think the Raiders were a sound pick for him. Nothing really showed up. We didn't take a ton of money on Genty. I wonder if it's because, while he was an exceptional player, I could have possibly won the Heisman. I can't remember if he broke the single season rushing record or got very close, or if it was, he needed the bowl game. But there's still that stigma about running backs in the first round. So other than the over/under market of first round running backs, we didn't take a lot of action on Ashton Genty compared to the other guys who went in the top 7.
So Troy, but I just think that this draft is meant for the mobile sports books because what did they have when they you had the established brick and mortar places around the country and Nevada is just they don't want to do it with it. I mean, for the Westgate Superbook to not put one prop bet, one draft pick, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's it. They are letting you know. I mean, I tell our contributors from Las Vegas, y'all get the worst place to bet in a draft, pretty much. Minus the states that ban it completely. We have a much better menu here in Louisiana. But we didn't bet it with the local bookmaker before sports betting was legalized in Louisiana. It was not available. So this was created through the mobile sports books. The Las Vegas used to do more of it. And I used to think, man, that would be awesome going out to Las Vegas for the draft. Well, now you can't even bet. You got to bet a day before. It's the worst place to be. But I think this is, to try and maybe capture. Do you get new members, do you get a little bit more of the market share during the draft because you have such a wider betting menu than pretty much anybody?
Yeah, I think so. You do get a wider selection of people than normal news-based events because, there's both fans of the team, fans of the NFL, fans of the colleges. It is to your point about the mobile betting, I would say that probably 80% of our handle was taken within 2 hours before the draft and during the draft.
Okay.
Which is pretty staggering. And that's, that's probably 98% of it was probably mobile. Certainly a little bit of brick and mortar, but, the day before the draft, we had a decent handle. And certainly that was not all mobile, but you figure, weeks before, months before, that's when you're probably getting more brick and mortar action. But just the when I woke up and updated all the data to see how much money and how many tickets had come in since I last checked at about 6 p.m. last night Eastern time was kind of staggering. And that shows just how much is going right before where the odds get taken down and then live because the odds will change to your point about team markets. As the trades happen, player, and if you see a team move back in the draft, but they're still got 4 or 5 more picks before they're on the board, you have the time for that odds to go back up, and you probably have a pretty good understanding of what position they're going to attack if they trade back in with the amount of insiders on Twitter and information at your disposal. If you have 3 to 5 minutes real time where the odds are back up, and the number's going to be adjusted, but you can really get smart about it and have a better chance to win. So it's, going back to, I'm not terribly surprised that this continues to be a public winner year in and year out because it is far more news-based, even with crazy trades. No one had expected Jacksonville to draft at number 2.
Right.
I've looked at 100 mock drafts. There are probably 7,000 mock drafts. How many of those that include trades at Jacksonville going number 2? And yet still, with some crazy stuff, Penix going 8 last year, the public still keeps winning at this event.
Well, we thought we were going to get Max to give us a Zurich Classic report down at the PGA event right now, but he's going to give us an Adam the Bull draft night show recap in Cleveland with his work last night.
Imagine how much they're beating the drum for Shadur Sanders all day today.
The Cleveland Browns fans didn't anticipate that as well. Great stuff as always, Troy. So I was wrong. I thought it had been a little bit of a house winner last night, or even a substantial house winner. Still a public winner last night for the draft, according to Bet Rivers. Thank you, Troy. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
You do the same. Thanks, guys.
All right, don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. We've got a great team of bankers over at United Community Bank. Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, Prentice Wilkes, my friends over at United Community Bank. United Community Bank, your business is our business. We support the hardworking folks behind local business, from initial startup loans to ongoing planning and assessments. United Community Bank is here for you. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here, and we got a massive weekend on deck, okay? Maybe you're going to be hosting some sort of watch draft party. Maybe you're fired up for the massive series in the box. Either way, what you need to get ready for the weekend is at Rouse's, Louisiana, from the original Brick Up. Okay, nobody understands Louisiana fandom better. So all your drinks, all your supplies, all your food, and you can buy this food, the platters ready to go, or you can put them together yourself. It's Friday, which means they have their seafood hot plates, $9.99 for a styrofoam box that you can stuff full of the most delicious seafood you can imagine, okay? And if you want some crawfish, it's a perfect day for it. You can buy and burl them yourself. Just get into Rouse's and let's have ourselves a weekend. Remember, Rouse's Supermarkets, Louisiana, from the original Brick Up.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Haniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency, lower your monthly bills, and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And the way go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, big cheesy Lou, and those Louis original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
A lot of different places the Saints could go with that first pick in the second round at number 40 right now. Will Johnson still on the board, corner from Michigan. Knee problems there. Mike Green is the edge from Marshall with some off-the-field things that probably kept him out of the first round. South Carolina safety Nick Emenwari, Trevion Henderson, the running back from Ohio State. Trey Amos, corner from Ole Miss. Jaden Higgins, a wide receiver from Iowa State. All of them could be in play when the Saints pick at number 40. And Mason Taylor, the tight end from LSU.
Henderson could go. He's second choice to be the 33rd overall pick to the Browns. Start things off. Shedeur Sanders, the favorite, plus 125.
Hour number 2, straight ahead at Ruffino's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988. By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day. For Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Louisiana Lagniappe on Perkins and Bluebonnet. Winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street to now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Patial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Now that it's cooler outside, this is the perfect time of year to get new windows, doors, and siding by calling me, Tommy, from Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. So set up your free quote today at gotommys.com. That's GEAUX Tommys.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. He's out there somewhere in the world. Maybe even your local sports book.
Can anybody help us?
Let's bring in Bruce Marshall.
You know, Charlie, we've been doing this with Brucey for over 30 years, and there's never anything I have thrown at him that he's not prepared for. You know, some of our guests, they need a prep list and things like that.
Yeah.
Not with Bruce. I'm going to test him today. Bruce, are you ready for this?
Okay.
I'm kind of curious myself.
Who's your pick for the next Pope?
Okay. Got the Cardinal out of Norway.
I say Jimmy Ott.
I promise you that's not going to happen.
I stumped him.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
You didn't expect that, huh, Charlie?
There's like 400 Cardinals, I think, that they get to pick from. So you got a board.
I mean, Bruce, I know you've had to have been to the Vatican, huh, Bruce?
My wife has, but I haven't.
Okay. You've been in Rome as
I've been
much?
to a lot of churches.
I was
in Notre Dame.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so
we had the Vatican exhibit at the World's Fair. You remember that in '84?
Oh, absolutely.
That was one of the most popular exhibits. In New Orleans.
Yeah. World's Fair was a big bust for tourism. Got a lot of negative publicity with the crime in New Orleans, but it was It was a great locals event. There was no doubt about that. 1984, and then of course they did some nice things with that area. And the warehouse district was not as desirable pre-World's Fair as it is these days. Hey, Percy, you're not a. Give us your thoughts on the betting, the draft. I see it both ways. But Troy Macker from Bet Rivers was just on with them. He still said they were a small loser. The handle is going up, but still at Bet Rivers, Johnny Vello communicated with him last night. They were a decent winner. You know, not terrible, but you know, Nevada. I mean, for the Westgate, for the Southgate, those are some respectable kind of locally run, not corporate influentially run operations. To take them off completely, it did surprise me a little bit. Your thoughts on betting the draft out in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, it's you go into the sports books and and you go into the machines that they have now, a lot of them, and there's so much draft stuff now. There's more of that than any other things this week. So that's changed. I'm mixed on the draft. Frankly, I don't care if the sports books I hope they lose money. So there you go. But I'm so mixed on that, and I'm having a hard time thinking that too many people won last night. I mean, some of the odds and some of the props they had some preposterous odds there. I mean, we knew Cam Ward was going to be one, but after that, I'm not sure who was winning much at all, because I mean, it was very hard to peg
where this draft went, there were a lot of guys, a lot of these edge rushers and some of the linemen. I mean, there wasn't a real pecking order in all the mock drafts. You had them sort of all over the board. So the conference things, I mean, there's some very prohibitive odds there. I mean, ACC over 3.5. I mean, the under was prohibitively priced there. Same with the Big 12. So I'm not sure. The other thing about the draft, guys, is that I'm a little leery of something where, before it's announced, somebody knows something.
Right.
And that there's a little element of that I don't like. And which again, that could only hurt the books, and I don't care about that. But still, there's something about that little fishy about the draft. It's not like picking games, and that this has expanded so much. It's just because it's such a fun thing to watch, and now everybody thinks they have to bet on it too. But I didn't. I'm just trying to think of anybody who would have won anything last night, because that thing just went all sorts of different directions, and the mocks were not altogether accurate beyond the first pick last night.
Well, I'm sorry, Charlie.
No, I was just curious if this topic has been knocked around plenty. Do you think, this is outside opinion, Jackson Dart and/or Shedeur Sanders are going to be good NFL quarterbacks?
I don't know. I don't know that Cam Ward's going to be a good NFL quarterback.
Yeah, throw him into.
And here and a couple of things, just some observations about the draft. There's still more pieces to the puzzle that have to come today. So I could be critical of some teams who they did or didn't pick in day one, and they could fill some of these gaps in day two and even day three. Also, there could be some other moves out there. I'm looking at Pittsburgh in particular. And I was thinking, well, they may have a chance to come around for another quarterback, but they're not picking till the third round unless they trade up today. Something must be imminent with Aaron Rodgers, I'm thinking, for them to sort of shun the quarterback. I can't see them going into the season with the quarterback room the way it is now with Mason Rudolph one. And I'm not sure Shedeur would have been the guy either, but I think something might be imminent with Rodgers that we might see in the next week or so. But it's a crapshoot, especially the quarterback thing. And I bring up Pittsburgh again. Look at the box the Steelers put themselves into a couple of years ago by picking Kenny Pickett in the first round, and he bombed. And it's going to take them years to recover from that. I mean, they were scrambling last year with Fields and Wilson for 1 year, and now they're doing it all over again. They don't have a long-term answer. If you blow this, if Tennessee blows this with Ward, say, or anybody in a first-round quarterback, and this could go with the Giants too, Jackson Dart, you pay for this for years. Very risky stuff sometimes.
What's your thoughts on what's going on in the NBA playoffs right now?
One note, you're seeing not as much the last couple nights, but the unders have been pretty solid.
Yeah.
13-6 with to the unders here. And I think we've sort of see this, in the playoffs are just played a little bit differently. I think it's refed a little bit differently. The defenses, they challenge the perimeter a lot more. And that's one thing. If we watch games, down the stretch in the regular season, and, the Wizards and the Jazz, the Hornets, and even the Pels, these teams that don't play defense, don't guard the perimeter. Well, these teams are guarding the perimeter now. So 3-point shooting has generally been down. And you get games like the T-Wolves and Lakers the other night where neither team shot better than 20% from deep. A lot of the analytics stuff sort of goes out the window in the playoffs, and these things turn into rock fights a lot. Now, the one series that isn't, looks like Indiana and Milwaukee, and the Knicks and Pistons got sort of higher scoring last night, but unders have been sort of the way to go. Now, they've been dropping some of these totals too a lot, and some of these games are still going under. The Clippers last night, that total's dropped 10 points from game 1 to game 3, and they've still been still under every game. They weren't even close last night. So that's been sort of the way to look. And specific series, I think the Lakers are in some trouble in their series against Minnesota. I think the Clippers, this is a team, we're really watching here. I think they're going to take out Denver. And, can they challenge Oklahoma City at some point? Maybe. Maybe they could. The East looks like it's a little more formful right now. That this Detroit series might be interesting. I think Orlando might get one on Boston too. They've made it uncomfortable for Boston. I don't think Tatum's going to play tonight. Orlando might get one there. I think that series probably goes 5. I don't think that's going to be a sweep. But that's sort of. But the unders have been sort of the way to go thus far.
Magic plus 3.5 against Boston. I mean, they are going to bet Boston in that game. So it looks like they're trying to attract some Boston action there. I'm a little surprised that Milwaukee's 5 over Indiana. I mean, maybe an exhale spot for the Pacers plus up 2-0. I'm not so sure. Minnesota -3. You talked about that. Kind of stuck on that one. Miami can be competitive. They were competitive in game 2, but boy, it just seems like it's a Cleveland-Boston final, and it's even though Cleveland will own the home court advantage. I mean, Boston will be a favorite in that game, and then also, who can challenge? Is the Clippers the most suited to challenge Oklahoma City in the West?
I think so, and I think I'm not sure they're going to succeed, but I think they've got the best chance. And I think this is the one year where it has sort of aligned for the Clippers, just health-wise, to get Kawhi to this point where he is still healthy and contributing. That's a roulette wheel spin, and this has been, he hasn't been healthy through the playoffs all the way through since, or even there. He missed a couple of years, but you got to go back to the bubble back in Orlando in 2020. So they've got him there. They're at a healthy state. It's worked this year for them. The whatever's with the Kawhi plan, and now that he's healthy, and now they've got Powell back and with Harden there. Zubac is a great match for the Joker here. I think they're going to get through this series. They're the one who could maybe challenge OKC. So I would watch that, and I'm going to still stick to my Boston, LA, but Clippers, not Lakers, in the final. We'll see how that goes.
Mid-range game is a lost art, but boy, especially in game 2, the Kawhi Leonard is letting you know, no, you can still, and it's just more of a diverse game. I mean, the 3-point shooting contest, which is the regular season, it gets to be just flat out dull. I mean, the lack of intensity, lack of defense. There's no bigger difference. It's almost like a different sport in the postseason, and it's good to see in a league that certainly needs it. How about the home teams in Major League Baseball, Brucey? I mean, a record 62-63% winning percentage, outright highest since the turn of the century. And then you got the Cubbies are the highest scoring team in baseball. The Dodgers have cooled off a little bit. The Rockies are awful. They are right there with the last year's Chicago White Sox. The White Sox aren't much better themselves. And how about the Mets in the National League? Already a 5-game lead in the NL East.
Yeah, I think they're sort of the storyline right now, and this has all happened the last week, 10 days. They took out the Phils this week. That pitching looks really good for the Mets, and all of a sudden, I mean, they have just opened up a gap there. Now it's still April, and then the Braves are way back there right now. But I mean, there's time for the Braves still to get things back in order. Although they did dig themselves kind of a big hole, but they've been stirring some lately as well. That home record thing has been helped some by the Rockies losing every game on the road. They've lost 13 straight now as a visitor, so that's sort of contributed to that. But you're right, overall, the home thing seems to be working, and I have been impressed by the Cubs. They are obviously not scared by the Dodgers. Good for them, and the fact those games have mostly been really high scoring. The Cubs are now beating the Dodgers 4 straight. Dodger pitching. We're keep an eye on that. Blake Snell looks like he's going to be out for a while now, so there's some vulnerability there. I think the Padres and Mets might be the 2 best teams in the National League right now. So we will see.
Yeah, when they get Jackson Merrill back, there even more so. But yeah, Cubs Dodgers series already over. They win it 4-3 after losing the first 2 in Japan to start the season. So. They win it 4-3. Wind blowing a little bit out this past week with a 2-game set in Chicago. I like Casey Mize in Detroit tonight. That's an honest number at home against a struggling Baltimore team. Former number 1 pick out of Auburn is playing better. There's no doubt. And how about this, Charlie? Plus $1.80, 85. Paul Skeens.
Against the Dodgers tonight.
Yeah.
It's a premier pitching matchup.
Yeah, top 2 odds on favorites for the NL Cy Young. Skeens is top favorite. Yamamoto is number 2. So we will see. That's in Chavez Ravine. So worth the price of admission there. Yeah, so plus $1.85 the Paul Skeen, so not that bad as well.
How are Pirates going to score off that guy?
It probably won't.
No.
So good thought there. Brucey, anything else that you want to give us? We got Derby Day next week as well.
Yeah, I'll have Derby next week. One other thing about Skeens tonight. Last night, the Pirates played the game in Anaheim, and a couple of weeks ago, the Angels announced they wanted to start that game at 6:29 p.m. Because of the CBA and the timing. They had to start at 3 hours and 1 minute flight to Minnesota for the game tonight. So Artie Moreno said, we want to have a nighttime game, and they thought Skeens was going to pitch last night, but it turned out Pittsburgh pushed him back one more day, and instead the Angels fans got to watch Carmen Wodzinski last night for the Bucks. They didn't get the game with Skeens. Angels had to fly all night to Minnesota when they should have played that game yesterday in the afternoon. So take that, Artie. I know the Angels won last night, but that's not too good. One other note, the NHL, St. Louis. I think St. Louis is going to beat Winnipeg in this series. I don't think Montreal is out of it at all against Washington. They go game 3 tonight.
Okay.
I think the Golden Knights are in big trouble against Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I think Minnesota and St. Louis, 7 and 8 teams, both get through this round in the West. We will see.
All right, Brucey, don't forget now the Pietro Parolin was the youngest Secretary of State in 84 years in the Vatican. So the 70-year cardinal from Veneto might be a short price, but don't shy away from it. Okay.
Okay. You say.
Thank you, Brucey. Oaks Day next week. We'll talk to you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Okay, you too, boys.
Robert Sarah from Ghana.
What's that?
Robert Sarah from Ghana.
Zuppi from Bologna.
It's
Pizza Baya from Jerusalem.
I just got handed a piece of paper. Robert Sarah from Ghana.
Okay. All right. So anyway, don't forget, it's routine weekend over here. Hit the Queen on the weekend. On the way home, I hit my friends over at Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Lee, just off of Nicholson, across from Mike Anderson's. Sit back and watch the evening games with the 3 TVs behind the bar. Happy hour is every day, 7 days a week, 2:30 to 6:30. Cinco de Mayo is right around the corner as well. They'll have festivities at Los Reyes for that as well. So, hey, tell Mr. Scott, Mr. Kyle, you heard us talking about it here. Start off with that fresh guacamole, tacos, the quesadillas, the fajitas are outstanding, burritos, you name it. And they got that Mexican pizza, which is outstanding. And also the gyro. The gyro tacos are really good as well. Really good stuff, and never that sticker shock when you get your bill as well. Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Lee, just off of Nicholson, across from Mike Anderson's.
We will be going down to Zurich when we come back. Max is down there. We'll get some stuff from him live at lunch. Ruffino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Louisiana Lagniappe on Perkins and Bluebonnet. Winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street to now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. First batch comes out at 5 p.m., weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988. Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steak, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salad, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona. Weekday afternoons at 3 on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Must be wanting to really talk to Max. I think this is the third segment that I said he's coming on.
Yeah, you've teased it like 3 times, but we got him on for real this time. You really want to know what's going on in Cleveland, right? More than
what about my boy Adam?
I want to know what's
Adam
going on.
the Bull. What was he saying with the Cleveland folks last night?
Fun show.
It's more what the Cleveland fans were saying. They are not happy with the way things transpired last night. They had their minds set on Travis Hunter. They were told all of 3 weeks now that they were going to get Travis Hunter, and they're very disappointed that they traded down and got a Michigan guy of all people too, because they're Ohio State land over there, so they're not too happy.
Well, he'll be a nice compliment to that guy they just gave all kinds of money from when he demanded a trade in Myles Garrett. So once they well, Max, what did you think, and what did Adam the Bull think? What was his stance on the trade from Cleveland's perspective?
Well, some of it was kind of wait and see in terms of what they do at quarterback. Obviously, they have 2 picks now to kind of lead off the second round. Do they go quarterback? Adam DeWolf kind of thinks that they're not going to go quarterback, that they're going to kind of wait for next year, and that this is kind of a long-term move for them. I'm a little surprised by that they wouldn't go with a quarterback. I kind of thought they might use those 2 picks to trade up in the first round yesterday and go get somebody else, but they're going to just kind of pick back-to-back here, it looks like, 33 and 36. And I'm not sure they're going to take a quarterback, to be honest with you. So it seems like a bit of a long-term solution. I think Browns fans kind of look at this as an indication that the general manager Andrew Barry and head coach Kevin Stefanski may have a bit of a longer leash than what some people expected, where they thought they were on the hot seat coming into this year.
If Shedeur Sanders doesn't go to the Browns with either one of those picks, and the information that we've gotten, which is that the Saints are not interested, I don't know when he's going to go. The Texans have the next pick? No. The Titans have the pick after that? No. The Raiders just signed Geno Smith. I know they can get out of that contract after a year. Maybe there.
Maybe.
Not New England, not Chicago. You never know with the Jets. I guess they're not San Francisco, not Dallas, maybe Indianapolis. I mean, this free fall, if the Browns don't take him, this free fall could last well into the middle part or even the later part of the second round, Max.
Yeah, it's a little surprising to me. You know, Shedeur, I'm high on him. It's surprising to me what we could see tomorrow or tonight, I guess. It's not so much that he fell out of the first round, to be honest. And a lot of these things, we hear them described as falls, right? That he fell out of the first round. But some of this is just kind of, we got more information, right? I don't think that these teams just all of a sudden had a different opinion of them in the last week or two. It's just we got more information that, yeah, teams don't view him that highly. They prefer a Jackson Dart. They might even prefer a Tyler Shuck. Who knows tonight? But ultimately, I don't think it's anything about the interviews or whatnot. I think it's just an indication of what the scouts thought of him coming into the draft, and now we're just getting more information. And I think some of the media was a little bit afraid to kind of indicate that there would be a fall here too early, you know, worried about getting access to Sanders because it's a big storyline, and they certainly didn't want to piss off his camp at all. So I think they were just a little cautious, and ultimately when the week came, we had a little bit of better indication that Sanders might fall a little bit.
Well, Brian Daboll made it public, too. He said, you know, as I talked about last night, you talk about the best interest of saving those guys' jobs who could have been fired last year. You know, when he and Shane, the GM with the Giants, you know, taking Abdul Carter helps their team, and taking a quarterback later gives them a better chance to have a better season next year. So we will see. Let's get to the Zurich Classic, and keep in mind we got Brad Cressy on with us a little bit. It's reunion. Yeah, we get for the 25-year reunion for the 2000 LSU baseball national championship team. On the odds board, Andrew Novak and Ben Griffin, who did play in the tougher conditions yesterday, they are the favorite right now, plus 300. The Hoygaards, plus 450, and then the defending champs, Lowry and McElroy, third choice at plus 650. What's going on down in Avondale?
Yeah, the wind's picking up here a little bit, so I think it's going to play a little bit more challenging here in the afternoon. We could see some showers, maybe a thunderstorm late in the round for the afternoon guys here. So I think the conditions are getting a little more difficult. Novak and Griffin just came through the front nine here, 7, 8, 9, which is their last three holes. They birdied the last hole, an impressive birdie on a difficult pin location on the par 3 ninth. So they're in a really good position. I really like what I saw on the up and down here on 7, which is where I'm stationed. Novak and Griffin. I mean, Novak missed out in the playoffs last week. Lost to Justin Thomas, but he's picking up right where he left off. So watch out for them. I think they're a worthy favorite at this point, considering the conditions coming in. The real storyline, I think, right now is with the cut line being top 33 in ties, there's a whole lot of groups that are going to be on this cut line, and that's the one thing we're seeing a lot of right now is you can hear some caddies talking about where's the cut line going to be. It's probably going to be at 9 under. It might move up to 10, but you've got these groups with 3 holes to play where there's some birdie opportunities. They're saying, hey, we got to get 2 birdies here coming down the stretch. There's just so many groups that are on that cut line because it's a smaller field essentially with only 70 teams.
Is there any betting opportunities right now?
Yeah, so I like a couple plays here this afternoon. One of the plays is the first round leader, Isaiah Salinda and Kevin Velo. They played really well yesterday, but they're a little bit weak when you look at them. I think an alternate shot here. You're going to be a little bit more reliant on Kevin Velo, who hasn't been playing all that great. Minus 130 for over 71.5 round 2 score, so even par or worse. With the winds blowing up a little bit, I expect it to play a little bit more difficult for them. So that's something I'm watching out for. Bello and Salinda, the first round leaders, to go over 71.5.
All right, Max. But you think some of these it could be a little challenging in the afternoon today, huh?
Yeah, I think so. And if you have a weak link specifically, I'm actually looking for a couple of the group props, waiting for DraftKings to load here. But if there are any specific players that are clearly a weak link. I think of Bryce Garnett pairing with Steph Straka. That's one group I'm targeting. Look out for plus 120 on Davis Riley and Nick Hardy, former champions of this event 2 years ago. They have played well together in this event. They know how to play alternate shot. They're accustomed to this format. And Bryce Garnett, they're going to rely on him because you're not getting bailed out by a best ball from Steph Straka. Straka's a great player, but Garnett's clearly the weakest link of that whole group. And you're getting plus 120 coming back on a Riley and Hardy who have a great history here. So I would look out for these difficult conditions really taking a swing at some of these weaker players in these alternate shot fields. So that's why I'm going to go against Steph Straka and Bryce Garnett.
All right, Max. Safe trip back, man. Enjoy the golf. I know you will.
Thanks, guys.
All right, don't forget our friends at and look, Novak and Griffin are in the clubhouse today. They're finished at 16 under. The Hoygaards, they're just 3 strokes back. They should, make up. So probably they might be the leaders. Now we got to see yesterday's leader. They tee off at 144. The Hoygaards tee off at 12:38, getting ready to do it right now. But at 144, Velo and Salindo will tee off as well. So we'll have to see what they do against some more challenging conditions to see who it. But I think that the Hoygaards at plus 450. Let's keep them going, Charlie. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. Now is the time to take advantage of that AC check. It's just $79. It's normally $179. They came to my house and immediately I had to turn the thermostat, move it a couple of warmer because it was just too cold. Because it was cleaned, it's running more efficiently. It's cooling the house quicker. It's going to contribute to lower monthly bills. Going to avoid we really lean on them in those hot summer months. It's going to avoid a more costly, more inconvenient breakdown. So it's win-win-win, all for just $79. Call my friends at Total Maintenance, 480-1000. 480-1000 and take advantage of that one-time AC check. Mention me, mention Charlie, mention the station. It's normally $179, just $79. Total Maintenance, 480-1000.
Brad Cressy joins us when we come back. The 25-year anniversary of LSU's 2000 National Championship will be celebrated on Saturday at the Box. We'll talk with the Dick Hauser Award winner from that season, Brad Cressy, when we return live at lunch here at Ruffino's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This is Charles Haniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency, lower your monthly bills, and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
The new go-to pizza joint in downtown Baton Rouge is Town Square Pizza. Town Square Pizza, located on North Boulevard across from the courthouse, is the perfect in-and-out destination when grabbing a quick workday lunch or visiting local attractions on the weekend. Town Square Pizza, you guessed it, square pizzas are consistently flavored and cooked perfectly every single time. It's as simple as that. Town Square Pizza, downtown next to Jolie Pearl.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Ruffino's live at lunch 25 years ago at Rosenblatt Stadium. This guy singled home Ryan Terrio, and LSU won the fifth national championship under Skip Bertman. Brad Cressy joins us. Brad, great to have you with us today. And, man, 25 years. Does it feel like 25 years, or does it feel like yesterday?
Man, Jimmy, thanks for having me. 25 years, that's crazy to hear. It doesn't feel like yesterday, but it also doesn't feel like 25 years ago.
There's a couple of things I want to talk about because Stanford had their pitching stacked up because ULL came out of the losers bracket and upset Clemson. So they really didn't use much pitch, but it was Wayne and Young, that combination. Now, it proved out that LSU had a pretty good 1-2 combination in Talent and Hodges as well. What was the thoughts going into that matchup with those two guys rested on their side? But you guys thought your two were probably just as good as those.
Well, going into the regionals and super regionals, we faced the gauntlet. Whether it was UCLA and Texas that year, we faced combined about $75 million worth of first-round pitchers. So we were the, quote, underdogs when it came to the draft status with the teams we were playing. But obviously the belief system that Skip instilled in us and the brotherhood we had, anytime we took the field, we were extremely confident that we're going to get the job done.
Speaking of money, one more matchup that we reference a lot is the marble game. It was a midweek afternoon game, and a guy by the name of Mark Pryor was starting against you guys, and Ben Saxon. And we bet on this show a little bit, Brad. Ben Saxon was the favorite that day against Mark Pryor, but Brad Haupt with the big home run to kind of knock Pryor out of that game.
Yeah, I mean, Pryor was dealing as Mark Pryor does, and I'm glad the coach Gillespie called a change-up, and Haupt hit it about 450.
That list of pitchers that you guys beat Hinkle and Karp, the two UCLA aces in the Super Regional, beat Bo Hale, Texas's ace, beat Mark Pryor. And obviously your hit to win the College World Series was the biggest hit you had, but you had a huge hit in a game against Florida State off of Blair Varnes, if I remember right.
Yeah.
That kind of broke that game open. It was a tight game, broke that game open. You remember that at bat?
Well, I clearly do, because that was my only hit that World Series until I drove in the single to drive-in Terrio. Everyone knows I was 1 for 12 in the College World Series that season. So that one double I hit was my only hit of the season. I hit it. It was a homer on a normal day, and the wind was howling in, and I kind of pimped it out the box, and I had to slide to make it a double. So that was kind of embarrassing, but that was a big hit at the time.
Brad, but I had a chance to go to Seal Beach and eat at the Abbey. It's a cool little pizza and wine joint with a million TVs and all the MLB games. Mark McGuire type of. Did you imagine you go be in Baton Rouge 25 years later? Still doing it, huh?
Well, so when I came here, obviously my wife's from here. I met her in college, and all my college buddies, like I said, we were a brotherhood. The NIL and the transfer portal wasn't in play when I was in college, and I'm not saying that the current players don't have a brotherhood. It's just a different landscape these days, and Skip really pulled us together and made us, the family we are today. And I'm extremely excited to see all my brothers, tomorrow at the reunion, 25 years later. We still keep in touch. We have a group text. We follow the current Tigers, and Jay Johnson doing a fantastic job of, bringing back, what am I going to say, the tradition of, the legacy that Skip left.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Trey Hodges earlier this week, and unfortunately, they planned a family vacation to Europe this week, and he's not going to be able to be there. And he was he was so disappointed that he said, we planned it a year ago. He said, I can't change. He says, I'm really disappointed I can't get there. Brad, one of the things I remember about that season, and I reference this a lot, anytime there's an overreaction to regular season losses. This will probably surprise a lot of people that don't remember that season. You guys went to Houston in the non-conference and got swept, and it got swept pretty hard too. I think they lost 2 of those games by like 8 runs. And I want to know how you guys felt after that, because there was a lot of shock that you guys had lost, and it's like, no, they're going to be fine. But it might have been hard to think that after getting swept at Houston.
Well, we got swept in Houston, and also that year, I don't know if I'm blending all my 4 years together. I think in 2000. We got swept at home against Vanderbilt as well. And when people hear that these days in 2025, they're like, that's no slouch in Vanderbilt. But back in those days, Vanderbilt was a doormat of the SEC, and we got swept at home. But as far as how do we bounce back, it's baseball, right? Things can happen. You can have a bad couple games, and the other team can play extremely well. So just like this midweek game they had against Northwestern, this current team's going to flush it. They're going to bounce back. Obviously, they have Tennessee coming in, who's a top team in the conference. They got to play well. They got to pitch and have timely hitting, and in order to win the series. But as far as how we bounce back, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And we realize the game of baseball is a game of failure, and sometimes you get knocked down and it makes you stronger, and it's how you bounce back.
And in that championship game, speaking of bouncing back, there was a big gap in the middle of the game where Young and then Wayne was kind of dealing. And this is kind of baseball legend at LSU. Barbier's speech, that we ain't going down like this. And what do you remember what Blair said? And then he went up and had the at-bat, hit, about an 11-pitch at-bat and hit in homer. What do you remember about that speech, that moment?
Well, I think it was 4-1. It looked bleak, right? We hadn't, put much, aggressive cuts on the ball with Young, and I'm not sure when Wayne exactly came in the game, but Blair was our team captain for a reason. He pulled us together, told us to hold the rope, and of course, like true team captains do, he held the rope himself. He went out there. Not only did he rally the troops with his words, but he led by example by hitting the homer, and then of course Witten followed with the 2-run homer. Hodges came in, shut the door. Terrio got on, and Fontenot walked, and I was just happy I can contribute and hit a single to help the team.
You knew he was going to throw you a slider?
Yeah, I mean, he struck me out on like 6 sliders in a row, so it was a pretty good chance he was going to throw me a slider.
Yeah. It's going back. What's the schedule of events for this weekend?
Well, so I think they have some guys are going tonight. I have to work this evening, but they're honoring, I think, the 75 SEC championship team. And then tomorrow there's a crawfish boil that I'm attending with all our our teammates and coaches, and then we're getting honor at the game. So crawfish boil in the afternoon and evening game against Tennessee. So you can't beat it. I don't have a chance, these days with what I do. Baseball season's busy for me. I haven't had a chance to go to a single LSU game this season. So not only am I excited to see my brothers and, reminisce about, our championship season, I'm excited to see the current Tigers play in person.
One more thing that I got to bring up, because 96 championship, 97 championship, 98. You guys are in center field on Saturday afternoon, the CBS game, taking pictures. 7 or 8 of you hit home runs with the bats and kind of showing them off against Seth Etherton, and then the wind shifted in Rosenblatt. And here you are against your hometown team again in that marble game in USC, and then just the whole thing, because that wind doesn't shift. You might have had 3 straight. It might have been 4 out of 5, but just that second chance against USC, was that a thing, or was it just prior? Was just the conversation when you have so much off time, so much dead time up in Omaha going through that series?
Well, you can't make any excuses. You got to play the game, but obviously the wind shifting in, nullified some of our, dominant power, because we hit the ball a long way. That was our game, and the West Coast teams play a more small ball, so. And we faced, I think, Etherton and then Mike Penny, and we lost by, I think they bunted against us. We threw the ball away, and I think that won this play. And in addition to our lack of hitting that day, led to our demise that year. But I can't, blame anybody. It's the game of baseball, and no matter what the elements are, you got to go out there and compete and win. We just didn't get the job done. It was a tough pill to swallow for that 98 team.
Since Jimmy brought up another year, I want to ask you about another at bat that I remember from the regional against Cal State Fullerton in '98, and I want to say you guys fell down something like 8 runs,
8-0,
8 or 10-2 or something like that. And Brandon Bowe had to come in and pitch, and he hadn't pitched that much, but he pitched great. But you had a grand slam in that game, Brad. And if I remember right, you help me out here. It was a straightaway center field over the batter's eye, and it's not a lot of balls go out of even the old box there. You remember that at bat?
I do. I think that game. I think I hit 2 home runs in the same inning. I think I hit a 3-run homer, and early in the inning we had a big inning, and there were 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs, and I batted behind Eddie Furness, and they intentionally walked Eddie, which was the right play to face. It was a righty-righty matchup. And Eddie, one of the best hitters to ever come out of LSU. And Kirk Sartalus, the slider specialist, was in there. He's a head coach at TCU now. I think he pitched a number of years in the big leagues. Anyways, I got a first pitch slider. He left it up. And, I hit. And I grew up against a lot of those Cal State Fullerton players. I'm from Southern California. Some of those guys I played high school ball with. So it was sweet revenge when you get a teammate walked in front of you to face you. It's a little slap in the face. I already hit a 3-run homer that inning, and they walked the guy to face me. So that was a special moment.
Was the ball, though, that 98 against USC, the first game, to straightaway center, was that the farthest one you've hit?
No, I think in 98 against USC in the College World Series, I hit one off Jason Lane, the left center, that went over the scoreboard and down the hill. That was the first ball I've ever hit.
Okay. Well, good. Well, Brad, man, good stuff, man. I hear the kids in the background. You're always working, man, with those kids in youth baseball and all that good stuff, man. Enjoy
I apologize. I'm actually at Traction right now where I work, but Catholic got rained out. Their field, it rained so bad that they're playing on turf. So I'm watching a playoff game. As we speak, Catholic's playing Lafayette.
There you go. Enjoy the weekend, man. It's a special time. LSU always does a great job with these events, honoring their previous champions. Y'all deserve it. Well done, Brad. Have fun.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, Jimmy.
All right. Former LSU Tiger Brad Cressy. And such a unique path. Tommy Lasorda, his godfather. Of course, Brad's dad, Mark, was in when he gets a game-winning hit, they show him in Rosenblatt in the 2000 College World Series championship game. But the bullpen coach for the Dodgers, and Charlie, Seal Beach is it's very close to Anaheim, and so it's kind of an Angels country. It's not as far north as like across town with the Dodgers, but like you said, Long Beach is right there. So Fullerton is not far away. And those were prominent programs in that era. And for him to come for a 4-hour flight to Baton Rouge, was quite a jump. It was quite a jump. But Lasorda, who was always a regular visitor to the New Orleans area, came and spoke at some of Skip's events and things. So there was a little bit of a tie there, but still, it's a lot more common for these players, especially California players, to come. But that was a different era, and that was a big step. And for him to still be here working right now as we speak, doing with youth baseball, it's cool.
I don't know if I ever told you this story, but I had a very, very early flight. I was on a flight by myself, apart from the group, that next morning, the day after they won the national championship. I had to get to the airport at like 5:30 in the morning. And believe me, the celebration ran very late. There was one person that beat me to the airport. The two of us were at the gate first, me and Mark Cressy.
Oh, really?
We got to sit down and visit for about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, he had to be excited.
Oh, it was wonderful. He's a great guy. And it was terrific that I got the chance to talk to him. I was like, what was that like? And he was over the moon. It was a really, really special moment for him and his son.
Cool stuff. Stuff. Yes, indeed.
Take a break. Come back, wrap things up here live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal... hang on, Jordan, and Will.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the 28th. 28th. Yeah. 28th, yes. Queen. Okay. All right, you ready?
All right. It's rolling.
It's Charles Hanniger. Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch from the Queen, downtown Baton Rouge. We'll recap the entire NFL draft plus LSU's huge weekend series with Tennessee. Live at Lunch from the Queen, 11 a.m. Monday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Equal housing lender.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And the wind go travels down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
The timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at 1045 ESPN and on Instagram at ESPN 1045. For a look behind the scenes, highlights from our shows, the chance to participate in exclusive contests, and more with 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Today's show we're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. Let them do what they've done for me, which is set up your retirement where no two situations are alike. They'll work with you no matter what your age, what your financial situation is. They'll get a tailor-made plan for you to make sure all your retirement goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. For more information, call Philip Fontenot and his staff, 337-981-1376, or online, coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA, SIPC. You ever think you got a good 3-4 punch or 2-3 punch in your lineup? Eddie Furness hitting third and Brad Cressy hitting fourth for the 1998 Tigers are still, 25 years later, the top two home run hitters in the history of the Southeastern Conference.
Is that right?
Furness hit 80 and Cressy hit 78. Tommy White got close. He got 75 in his 3 seasons, but they are still 1 and 2. I know the bats were different, but man, those guys could mash. That was something. LSU got
2 4-year players. Yeah.
Yes, 2 4-year players. The Tigers got their work cut out for them tonight. Liam Doyle, a junior lefty for Tennessee, is as good as it gets. 104 strikeouts in 58 innings. He's got a whip of .83 and an ERA just under 2.5. We'll see if Cade Anderson can bounce back from a rough outing a week ago against Tennessee tonight. This game is basically a picket, and LSU's not in a picket situation where they're not a favorite in Alec Box very often, but that's the case tonight. Should be an electric weekend at the stadium. Looking forward to that. Anthony Ianson and Marcus Phillips
30.
tomorrow, and neither team has announced a Sunday starter yet in this series.
I got my money on Vitello does something to aggravate the fans.
Well, seeing as all he's got to do is walk out the dugout to do that, I'd say you're right on that one. Thanks to the folks here at Ruffino's. They're always our Friday host. Monday we will be at the Queen. For Jimmy Ott, Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. This has been Live at Lunch from Ruffino's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Hey, Jordan, hang on.